Continue learning 5 minutes of tefillah. We're in the middle of this incredible part of tefillah called chilui, arguing our cases in front of Hashem. And yesterday, Rav Shearim B'Tefillah proved how this incredible type of tefillah works. And he explained from the story in the Gemara with Rav Chanina ben Daisa that when he was told that a certain girl fell into a pit, he said there's no way that she died because her father digs wells. Her father helps the public in the mannerism of wells. Can't be that the daughter is going to die from such a death. And kachav, that's what happened. The daughter didn't die, but the Gemara continued that the person's son died from thirst. And Rav Shearim B'Tefillah came along to explain that the reason was that Rav Chanina ben Daisa was no longer alive, so there was no longer one available, so to say. There was no longer one that was davening and arguing in front of Hashem this type of tefillah, and therefore it no longer had the same potency. So this type of tefillah that we argue, that we talk to Hashem in the mannerism, explaining why and how we want things to happen. And Rav Shearim B'Tefillah says this isn't such incredible tefillah, it's the mere word Elokai. What does the word my God mean? Says Rav Shearim B'Tefillah, it's not just about kasha, it's a tainat suma amit, it's an incredible claim. Naira, to redeem Klal Yisrael when we say Elokai. Why? Because we're telling Hashem, Atalikim, you're Hashem. What does it mean, you're Elokim? The word Elokai, again, my God, means you are Elokai, you are Elokim. Now the word Elokim is the name of Hashem that denotes that Hashem is the Baal Chesed, Koyach Bilti Baal Tachlis. He can do everything. And that's my God, Elokim Shali. So when we say the mere word Elokai, what are we really saying? What we're saying is, Hashem, what's holding you back? What's stopping you from giving me what I want, what I need, what I deserve? Hashem, you could do everything. That's all included within this word, Elokai. But says Rav Shearim B'Tefillah, there's a big danger in what we're talking about right now. Because when we hear this, we might start conjuring up in our minds, okay, so I'm going to create my own reasons. Hashem, I need this because of this. Give me this because of that. If I'm allowed to argue my case, I'm going to argue my case in front of Hashem. It says of Shearim B'Tefillah, chas v'shalom, what could happen is one might come to be lahatich devarim klapei mayla, to talk disrespectfully. You can't talk in certain ways to Hashem. And therefore, says Shearim B'Tefillah, the answer is to utilize the tefillahs like we spoke about from the Anshe Knesset HaGedolah, from David HaMelech himself, tefillahs that include within it all tainas, all claims, all arguments, but to do it with passion, with fervor, realizing that Hashem wants us to do such. Hashem wants us to argue our case, and then we could take the tefillahs that we've been saying, but we can realize that we're saying Elokai, and what does that word mean? Hashem, you're the Baal Chesed, you're the entity that can do everything, and you're Elokai, mine, Elokim Shali. Every time we say the word Adnos, Aleph Daled Nun Yod is similar, my God, and we realize that with those words we're pleading our case in front of Hashem. And we're telling him how much we need what we want. And that's what Hashem wants. And that's the reason why we could daven in that matter. But then continues Rav Shearim B'Tefillah in the next ayis, which will begin now. And we'll have to pick up from this point tomorrow. And he says that in reality, there's two ways that we daven. We daven in second person and we daven in third person. And he's going to elaborate why this is so important and critical at this juncture. But let's begin. He says, what do we say? Ata Hashem Elokeinu. You, Hashem, our God. That's in second person. You, Hashem, our God. And then other times, what do we say? Ha'maitzi lechem min haaretz. He who draws forth the bread from the earth, which is in third person, more indirect. So sometimes we're talking direct to Hashem, and sometimes we're coming around from the back and talking to Hashem in more of mannerism of kavod, of honor, in the third person. So says Rav Shearim B'Tefillah, what could happen if we continue praying, davening the way that we're talking about, is that the second person could come natural and normal to us. And talking to Hashem could come so beautiful and pure, like a friend talks to each other, pleading our case. We could lose the aspect that very often our tefillahs need to be as well in the third person. With this, we'll pick up tomorrow explaining deeper the critical parts of the two ways of davening.